Hey there, tape heads. It is once again time to make us a mixtape. I'm your host, Marty DeRosa.
I'm your other host, Paul Farahvar.
And what we do is have our friends or ourselves make Paul and I, who are music insiders, make no mistake about it, we are music insiders. We love a good 5-song mix. We really get a good taste of who somebody is, the fiber of their being. We've done a lot of different topics, and as you might have seen if you've clicked on this one, this is my turn to do bad songs by good artists. Paul was last week, and controversy reigned supreme. Not for any of the picks, Paul, but one of the artists actually reached out and told us we're not allowed to play the video on YouTube.
Yeah. So,
were you thinking like somebody emailed you, like, "Oh my God"?
Horrible songs from great artists.
What were your songs again? Run your songs down real quick, if you remember.
My songs were, let me find them again. I don't remember the order.
I think I blacked out during that episode and I don't remember. I remember mixing up. I kind of want to listen back to where my brain just disconnected, and we'll talk about it later in my list. But at some point during the podcast, I stopped talking about one song and started talking about another song. Yeah. And I think I knew I was wrong, but I tried to like be slick for a little while. And you were just like, you're talking about two different songs.
Yeah, different artists too. You talk
two different artists, yeah. So and from different eras.
My list was the King of Pain by The Police.
Yes, I agree.
Hanging Around by Counting Crows. Moon Dance by Van Morrison.
Yes.
Talking Heads, Wild Wild Life, and Song by Weezer. And the song that created controversy. So some of you guys, most people listen to us on audio, but
yes. I literally didn't know you were posting these.
Yeah.
And I said to you before we started, I just get fucked up on these episodes and I'm just smoking from my little vapies. And I didn't know you were posting this. I don't care, but
it's on my YouTube page. There's like 2,000 followers, no big deal. But
better call Paul on YouTube if you need to.
Yeah, paulfcomedy.com if you want to watch some of the ones that we've been doing via Zoom because of COVID originally, and now because I'm in a different I'm temporarily residing in a red state.
Paul retired. Tell them what happened. You retired.
I retired from comedy.
You live in Florida. You're having a great life.
Yeah, I did that. But we did an episode, and one of the songs I picked last week was Moon Dance by Van Morrison. Well, YouTube has rules about copyrights, and as an entertainment lawyer, a former entertainment lawyer, I know the rules, and they usually like give you an opportunity to say why it's a fair use. Like there's rules on the Copyright Act where you can.
You know what you should have done? You should have emailed YouTube back a meme of Rick Ashley going, "You know the rules, and so do I." That's a famous meme, which I love, of Rick Astley. You know the rules, and so do I.
Right. So, and sometimes people are, I have artists that I have their license to use music for my other podcast, Singles Only, and it sometimes pops up and it goes away. But they never not post the video.
They just demonetize it?
What's that?
Do they just like demonetize it or something?
Yeah, they'll say you can't.
Not like we're monetized
until we hear from the artist, but it still goes up. Still goes up. This time, Van Morrison's people did not appreciate us using Moon Dance, and it's not allowed to be on YouTube for 21 days while they review. And they threatened me by saying, "Oh, you may have violated the terms of your YouTube." Well, that's impossible because I know we only did a portion of the song.
But we talked over it.
Yeah, we talked over it. And not only that, it's fair use. We're talking about the songs. We're not playing for money. So there's all sorts of rules that we would fall under that are fair use. But I just pictured him like, "Oh, he's going to shit on my song."
Yeah.
I can't do an Irish accent. Do a Van Morrison, Marty. You're good at these accents.
I honestly would not have even known that he was Irish. I thought he was American. I mean, I know he's Irish, but I don't know. Do you think our second artist will do the same thing this week?
I think we have to be careful how much we
we got a couple lunatics on this lineup, so we have to be careful.
Your list is a little shocking. Here's why.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So my side, I thought the rules of the game were to play artists that we really like, and I'm shocked that you really like two of these artists.
I'm going to tell you what. After I finished my thing here, there's going to be one of the artists that you might have been shocked by. And Sarah and I listened to a bunch of their songs. And I gotta find the song. There's a banger in there. A real like I had my favorite. It's different than yours. But we'll talk about it. But there's a banger in there.
Well, I'm impressed by that. But songs that I for sure I predicted, if I was going to predict Music Insider of the People, Marty DeRosa.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to play some more like, ska artists.
You know, I thought about
Alkaline Trio.
I thought about Alkaline Trio, but like this list I have here, I think it's one of my greatest lists of all time. Okay. I think the tape heads out there they're gonna play these songs to other people and they're gonna go, can you believe this song? And people are gonna go, oh my God, I forgot about that. There are some bad songs on here. And I don't think, but one I love and hate.
Well, I agree with you on some of these, and just for the rules, these are songs. Yeah. We like the artists. I do. This is a song that makes.
I am maybe not the biggest fan, but I'm a fan. I would or have seen these bands in concert. I would go to them. I don't know if I'd spend the kind of money that Paul would spend. Last time I think we were up to, what was it, Police? How much did you say you paid to see the Police at the Metro? 3 or 4 grand?
Counting Crows playing August and everything after
1,200.
I think it was like 800. For Pumpkins, we both agreed. And Pumpkins at Metro, we both agreed over 1,000 for that. You went above 1,000.
I don't know if I paid 1,000.
Yeah, I think
for the Pumpkins.
Yeah,
I might have blacked out.
If we had the technology, we can put it in right here where you're like,
okay, well. Let's are you ready to jump? Some songs that didn't make it.
Yeah.
On the cutting room floor that this was number 6 was Oasis, All Around the World. That Oasis song, All Around the World. I hate that song. It's just like, I hate it. The video helped me hate it. It's just like, Oasis, fuck off. It's such a bad song.
Oasis, to me, I have a lot of songs I really like by them, but then there's a lot of songs I don't like by them either. So it's kind of like like Roll With It.
I'll do this.
Some of theirs that I hate.
Yeah. I like that. I like Roll With It. It's weird. I will do this for the tape heads. I will put together a top 5 worst Alkaline Trio songs.
Okay.
That I'll do a quick little, maybe I'll do a little bonus episode or something.
Okay, fair enough. Deep cuts. Yeah, because the rules, I'd have to know all the songs technically to know.
Also, I really didn't like did you like putting this list together? I hated it.
It was hard for me at first, but then all I did, and I think I said this last week, I just went and saw what XRT's last 20 songs were, because there's so many songs that WXRT AAA station in Chicago would play that would just drive me nuts. I'm like, why are you fucking playing this song? And then I had to go back, and it wasn't that hard for me, but it was like, once I got started, I was like, and this one, and this one. And then it was hard, but yeah.
I saw a lot of bad songs by good artists, but I didn't love the artist, or the songs were just like, I'd never heard them before. Like there's some like Bob Dylan song and they're like, it's the worst song ever, but it's like, I've never heard it before. I don't want to listen to it once and be like, I'm putting it on my list. Like these are songs that back in the day when they came out, I was like, what? And there's one in here that I just heard about recently, but I think is just like,
I know which one you're talking.
It's the worst fucking song of all time. And I'm so happy that we get to talk about it again on this podcast.
Well, let's get into your list. The first song, I definitely.
Oh, one more song I almost put on this.
Yeah, what was the other one? Sorry.
I almost put a couple I kind of like the Offspring. Like I like a couple songs by the Offspring, but that why don't you get a job? I think that song is so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll like fight for Pretty Fly for a White Boy. I'll like fight for that song. It's a great song.
It's funny that for all the episodes we've done now, you haven't had a Limp Bizkit or an Offspring or any of the stuff that
I did on Guilty Pleasures.
I don't think you had a Limp Bizkit.
I think I had. I think I had
Limp Bizkit on the MTV
on there.
episode, but yeah,
we'll see. I don't know.
Let us know, Tapeheads. Oh, by the way, message us your list. Paul Marty makes a Gmail, and thank you for reviewing us. Whoever did recently, we like that.
I think that somebody did Offspring.
Somebody you have
because I had Offspring.
You have not had Offspring on one of your mixes.
No, I haven't, but somebody on ours did because I knew that story about how the guy from the punk band that I can't think of right now, who sang 21st Century Digital Boy. Anyway, he was like, it was his record label that they put out their first album, and he said he listened to the whole tape driving home, and he just kept driving around the block listening, and then he pulled into his driveway, and the first thing he said to his wife is like, "We're gonna be millionaires.
We're gonna be okay."
He's like, "We're gonna be rich." Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's jump into the list here.
This band, we both agree is one of the best. This is a song you picked by Weezer, Can't Knock the Hustle. Will's not watching at home.
It's
Marty is,
I mean, like, you literally don't have to hear anything else. That's the song. It's just so Can't Knock the Hustle. It's them. It's the video. Let me tell you about the video. And I know that the video shouldn't affect the song, but it does. Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy is the Uber driver, and of course he's an Uber driver, and he's picking up like a wacky couple and all this crazy shenanigans and text messaging. It's so, like, I feel like in 5 years it's gonna look like, it's gonna be such an embarrassing video. But the song to me is just like, you put the Sweater Song, which is what kills me about Weezer is like seeing them now, and I'm just like, oh my God, you guys, it's just like they're just like, oh, it's such a bummer, because they were such a cool band. Like, I can't believe that I thought this band was like Pavement, you know? I thought this was like a Pavement level band.
Okay.
And, and now they're like doing stuff that Counting Crows might not even do.
Well, I think I was shocked, and I think I talked about this when I saw them in concert last year. I was shocked by how young their fan base was.
They know what they're doing.
They reinvented themselves in a way.
They know what they're doing, because they'll, like I said, instead of being in the videos, they'll put other people in the videos now. And it's like they have like the kid from Stranger Things, and they do all these different little tricks to stay relevant.
Rivers Cuomo, Harvard graduate. He knows what's up.
Hey man, he did reference ECW in a song, so I can never fault him for that.
ECW? What's that?
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
And in El Scorcho, he says, watching New Jack leg drop grunge through a press table. I'm watching grunge New Jack leg drop.
I don't hate this song. It doesn't give me that. I definitely don't. It's not a song that.
I think it's more of my emotions are tied up in this verse. Just being it's just like, that's not Weezer. Like, are you telling me that's the same band that wrote all those?
They've reinvented themselves.
I know. I almost put Beverly Hills on there. That was another offender.
That's a bad song too.
That's another bad one. They're like, to me, they were so interchangeable, but this is just like, what is this? Like, when you hear a song and and not only did they just do the song, fine, but like, this was a single off that album. It's like, whoa, that's just bad.
It didn't, until I heard it, I didn't even remember the song, to be honest with you. I was like, yeah.
I think it's the video that really made me dislike it, but just hearing it and stuff, because Weezer it's so funny where it's like, I can be on listening to like a playlist or whatever on like iTunes, or if I forget my computer, I have Spotify on my computer, so I'll listen to some spot list on my computer, and every once in a while, because the music I like, they'll slip in a Weezer song, and if it's a good Weezer song, it hits so nice. But if it's one of these new ones, it's like someone walked in the party like with their dick out, and everyone just stopped and they're like, what the fuck, your dick's out? Like, that's what these songs are just so jarringly weird, and I'm just like, I don't know how the people who wrote those old songs wrote this song. Like, I don't know how that's the same brain.
Rivers Cuomo. I don't know. I think that I think they've reinvented themselves so many times. And sometimes when bands do it, it's like, okay, we get it. I like that Wilco never really sounds the same. And I think they're one of my favorites too. But with them, I feel like when they do something new, it's like, sometimes I'm like, it's hit or miss. And for me, this one isn't as miss as it is for you, but there are, like, I agree with you. Beverly Hills, that's pretty trash. Sweater Song for me, same feeling. But hey, if they're giving us this strong opinion, that means they're doing something.
Yeah. I probably should have did Beverly Hills. I think I hate this video more than anything, and I'm sorry that I let that sort of.
That's fine.
But what can you do? Song number two. Yes. Song number two, I mentioned earlier as one of these songs. I hate it, but I also kind of love it.
Okay, well, this song, Metallica, Saint Anger.
Yes.
Saint Anger.
Yeah.
You're a Metallica fan.
I am. Big Metallica fan.
This is a song where if we do play too much of it, they're going to come after us too. So
exactly. Lars is a little baby. I just want, don't even worry about the beginning. No, don't even worry. Go like 30 or 40 seconds in, because the beginning is such a weird little thing. This was the album they were making for Some Kind of Monster. And they let new metal, like if you're Metallica and you let new metal seep its way into your music, what are you doing? They might as well have had a guy rap in this song too. They might as well have had Fred Durst drop a bar about like, "I'm come praying to you, Saint Anger."
It's a long song, by the way.
Yeah, and it's the drums are weird. They even talk about it, like they were just all afraid to tell Lars like these drums sound like shit. He even knows about it. This is like the most polarizing album of Metallica's entire catalog.
Was this a hit off the album? Was this a single or what was it?
This was a single. Yeah, this was actually no. I think I think this is Saint Anger. It's Saint Anger. Was it or Load or Reload? I can't remember. No, this I think was like the first big single with like the new bass player and the short hair and stuff. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's still a terrible song.
It's because it's so funny that for me, I was never a Metallica fan, but when he was attacking people for Napster and stuff like that, I was the nerd that was like, I don't like them, but I like what he's saying. He's right about the artist.
Oh, you're such a nerd. Yeah, I know. And that's where everybody else like me said, what a fucking nerd.
Yeah, but that's what I was like, I understood the argument.
One of the things that when Sarah and I like watch a movie or something, she's been so like really tuned me into watching something and being like, that's not going to look good in a couple of years. Whether it's like certain things in movies or like we'll like walk by like a cool condo and she's like, that's going to look weird in 10 years. This album, like I don't understand why they were like, let's just try this out. Like you're Metallica. You didn't have to try to do like new metal. Like this is such a, but then there's parts of the song that are really like, because there's a part, and this is like, I'm saying this to every band. And I know I just am like, I want every band to be like their first album or second album, whatever. But like to me, and this is where Metallica, like when you watch Metallica play live and they do covers and stuff, like a punk songs, it's like, I think they should just be like Me Too and the Gimme Gimmes and just do cover songs of punk. Do like Metallica
punk album. Yeah.
I would love it. That's all they need to do. But like, this album though is just like, it's so weird. It's so weird. But like, I don't know.
The thing is like what you said about Sarah, it's true that some of these people can't think forward. Like forward thinking is so important. And you look back in the 90s, I remember Rush had an album, Roll the Bones, where they were rapping in it too. And people were like,
the rap thing too, like Dee Dee Ramone, I think, put out a rap album, and I was like, I could put that on there, but I don't care enough about them.
A lot of disco too. They to get on the disco chain. And even in comedy, it's kind of funny now because I have to rework some old jokes. Do you ever go back and you're like, oh yeah, I can't do that joke anymore?
Like whenever someone, it's not even that. Like whenever someone's like, oh, I just listened to your album, I love it. I'm kind of like, oh man, I don't know. Like, okay, I guess. Like there's stuff on that I'm a little like, but like music wise, if you're like a metal band and you added a DJ for like those 2 or 3 albums, and then you're like, what are we doing? It's like so crazy. To me, it's like if you were like sometimes with ska bands, they became punk bands, but it, they got rid of the horns and they just went into more punk or pop punk. To me, that would be like, oh, we're a punk band and we're gonna add horns. Like it's like such a weird, like no one adds horns, people take away horns.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird concept, and I also, you got to also think that in their heads they're kind of also like, well, maybe we're gonna try to be like.
I know, and it's like
it didn't work.
I would never want to tell the same jokes a million times, till I died. So I get that part of it too. But like, man, it's just such and I think too, it's like in that Some Kind of Monster, it's like they're just such rich guys, and they're just it's like the money's just like, you can't have that brain and make those old albums.
They're out of touch with yeah. It's kind of funny though. Like I think about that when you say the forward thinking. It's like when you're writing new bits or you're regrouping old stuff,
Yeah.
You're always like, well, shit, this whole concept doesn't make. I mean, I had a joke where I made a reference to like DVDs. It's like that's not gonna work anymore. Not to mention like the concepts of like just how we've evolved as society over the 5-10 years. So
yeah, I mean, it could work, but it's also going to date the material. It's going to be one of those of like, if you work with a comic and it's the references, and it's like, oh shit, I know when you wrote this joke. Like you had to have written this joke in like 2004, and it's just like.
I did a joke because I'm trying to work out a new clean set for something, and I started doing this old joke. I'm like, let me just see if I can still remember it. And I had a joke where I talk about Joan Rivers dying.
Yeah.
Like, half the crowd doesn't even remember who the fuck she is. And I'm like, why did I say that? But it's still like,
it would be so funny. Like if you were like Bill Burr and you're just kind of like bored with comedy because you're so good. I think it would be amazing if Bill Burr took like just like a month in history and just wrote like the best 5 minutes about that month, and then just put it in his act. It's just like a weird, like, why did he talk about the People's Court so much? Like, that is so weird, but like, it was funny, but like, fuck, that was weird.
I mean, it's the same thing with these musicians though. They don't, you don't know that, grunge is going to be over when you are in the studio or whatever.
I felt like for the most part with grunge, they stayed on track.
Yeah.
Grunge, they put out the Black Album stuff. Like they were like, when did what album came out like during grunge? What Metallica album came out in like 93 or 4?
Yeah, I think they did put out the
Black Album. So it's like they didn't sweat it. But this one, they were like, oh shit, new metal. And I think, here's what I think, is they were like starting to get up there in age, and saw like a Fred Durst or a Kid Rock as like, oh man, now these guys are the coolest, and we're old nerds. I don't think like Cobain and all those guys, I don't think they sweated them, because like if you watch some of those documentaries, like not Some Kind of Monster, but like I think like Reels or whatever did like a Metallica documentary, and they talk about when they put out that like Black Album, or even before that, like they were like, we were the best band in the world and nobody could touch us, and our live shows were the best. Like, and you like look at it like almost like a team, like when the Bulls were like unstoppable. Yeah. That's like how Metallica was. They were just like, no one's better than us. They would fucking have these, play like outdoor festivals with 100,000 people, and they would just have them the whole time.
They never had to change. When I was talking about grunge, I'm just saying like people try to like borrow things.
Sure. You can't help it. You can't help it. Yeah.
And I think, for like you said, Metallica, when grunge came out, like we're just going to stay in our lane. But with this song, like you said, it feels like they're like, maybe if we just incorporate some of this metal shit,
like Metallica was not afraid of grunge because they would have all the best bands open for them, or at least ask the best bands to open for them. Like
they had grunge bands open.
Yeah, they would have like, all those bands open for them, or you would hear that they at least asked or whatever, because they wanted like, oh, who's the best band? Bring them with us. They weren't like, how some comics are like afraid of having a good opener, and you'll be like, who is this opener? And then you're like, it's their friend, and they kind of know like, I'm never gonna have to like be in the back of the room like, oh shit, he's getting a lot of laughs up there.
Right. Easy follow.
Yeah.
That's how I get most of my work. Well, speaking of,
all right, what's our next song here?
Not forward thinking, and something that in 10 years we will look down upon. Your next song is Bollywood by Liz Phair.
Tripping, looking at my portfolio, wondering how I was gonna make enough dough, caught up a friend who wrote for what you did.
I mean, and
there didn't know this existed.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber called Todd in the Shadows who does a whole series called Trainwrecked, about record or train records, about albums that are just like terrible. Like, what are you doing? And
then this came out.
Yeah, and this was like legit. Like, this is my single. Here's what I'm doing, and it's insane.
Guess who produced this song?
It's like a good person.
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews produced that Liz Phair song. That's
like,
insane.
How can I get her out of my? How can I ruin her career so she doesn't come into my lane?
This also is one of those, like, how could the person who made Exile in Guyville also do this? Like, her brain's broken at this point. I don't know if it's fame or money or just like everybody saying everything she does is great, but it was a slow ride because it was like that. You know, she started getting VH1-y. You know, she had a lot of those VH1 songs.
Well, she got
adult contemporary.
I read her biography. Yeah, she went adult contemporary, and then
does she talk about this song in her biography?
Oh, it didn't come up.
This is one of those albums where she's probably like, what's that album? I don't know what you're talking about. White women rapping. I fucking love it. I think it's the most cringe thing ever. Like, oh baby, I love it. You'll see with the next song how much I love it. I went back to back on this. It is just like so embarrassing. Sarah, do you have Sarah actually prepared something for the wait, no. You have, this is for Liz Phair? Oh no, wait. Yeah, okay. Next song, Sarah's got she's gonna do a little run in, as we say in the wrestling biz.
So for Liz Phair, I know that she sold out, as you say, in the business.
No. I don't.
Not you, but people say, you know, she was this edgy, you know, Exile in Guyville thing, and then she evolved to White Space Chocolate, all those other albums. But I liked those songs. She was poppy.
Yes,
bubblegum pop.
Those songs were fine.
They're awesome.
Like, I remember my niece would sing that, "Why Can't I?" And I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And I thought, well, it's a fine song. There's nothing wrong with that song.
She did a Christmas song for Aware Records called with Wheat. That was awesome. Like, she was really on top of her game.
Yeah.
This song, I didn't even know about it, to be honest with you.
But, I didn't either. And it's like, what? So when I sent this to you, this was the first time you heard it all the way through?
No, you played it once before.
But like by yourself, and you can kind of like.
Yeah. I couldn't make it through because it's culturally appropriating.
That's the other thing too. Cultural appropriation.
I'm not.
How do we forget that?
Like
we're not like the wokest music podcast where we're like cultural appropriation. Holy shit, man. Like, I mean, she has to look back at that now and just be like, I mean, I don't, she shouldn't get canceled for that album, but
it didn't age
well. I wonder if people were like, what was that all about?
I don't think back in 2010 when this came up, that was an issue.
Here's what I want. I want the text messages between her and Dave Matthews about this song. Like,
there's another producer too. We should give him a shout out.
You know what would be so funny if like we were at who?
Evan Frankfurt is the other producer.
Okay. Could you imagine if we were like, you know how like Conan has his podcast or like Letterman interviews people?
Yeah.
And if we could be like, oh my God, we have Liz Phair here. This is going to be so fun. And then just do the whole interview and be like, you're great. This is great. And then be like, all right, are we done recording? All right, turn the cameras off. Listen, I wouldn't do this on air because I'm not that kind of guy, but like, what is up with this song? And then I would just play it and the audience would be like, what is he doing?
No, she would be like,
she did this.
She would be like, hey guys, you know, her publicist would be like, just a reminder, no discussion about Ryan Adams, no discussion.
Yeah, I bet.
Discussion about Bollywood.
We don't talk about that album.
Yeah, Bollywood or Ryan Adams. But yeah, I was in talks to getting her on the Singles Only podcast when I was at South by Southwest. But we have a friend of the show who is gonna be on the show soon. Who's tight with her, and we will, once we open up and have guests again.
Yeah, baby, I'm getting vaccinated on Friday.
Hell yeah!
First shot.
All right, which one are you getting?
I'm going with the Moderna because it sounds like Modelo.
That one makes you a little gay.
Well, you know what? I'm already a little gay, so what's
2021? It's just gonna lean in a little.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of women that can't rap, you said white women that shouldn't rap.
Also over 40.
Oh, is that the new
And
category?
as a 40-year-old, I can say this. White women over 40 rapping. What are we doing?
American Life, Madonna.
Will it get me far? Should I lose some weight? Am I gonna be a star?
Go to like a minute 40.
Okay.
I tried to play the part.
Hold on.
Somehow I forgot just what I did.
This isn't the rap. Go a little further.
Only go 120.
Oh, go back then. Go back like.
The same. This type of modern life is not for me.
How did I not know what's
This type of modern
We're already
life
gonna get
is not
canceled.
for
Madonna's
me.
canceled? Turn off. Well, you know what? Since I can't find it on the song, I'm gonna have Sarah come and she's gonna rap Madonna's part.
All right.
So come on over here, bud.
Sarah, friend of the show, you're gonna rap for us.
I'm going to rap for you. Thank you so much for having me. This is my biggest opportunity since auditioning for America's Got Talent at McCormick Place.
Oh yes, okay.
Okay, I have the lyrics. This is the real rap that Madonna does.
Okay, here we go.
I'm
Sarah
drinking a
Chalk.
soy latte. I get a double shot. It goes right through my body, and you know I'm satisfied. I drive my Mini Cooper. I'm feeling super duper. Yo, they tell me I'm a trooper, and you know I'm satisfied. I do yoga and Pilates, and the room is full of hotties. So I'm checking out the bodies, and you know I'm satisfied yet again. And then I'm digging on the isotopes. The metaphysics shit is dope. And if all this can give me hope, you know I'm satisfied. I've got a lawyer and a manager, an agent and a chef, 3 nannies, an assistant and a driver and a jet, a trainer and a butler and a bodyguard of 5, a gardener and a stylist. Do you think I'm satisfied? I'd like to express my extreme point of view. I'm not a Christian. I am not a Jew. I'm just living out the American dream. And I just realized that nothing is as it seems. Thanks, everybody.
I mean, that's
Sarah Shockey Madonna. Hell yeah.
See, we didn't even need to find that part of the song.
I like
You heard it. How bad? You heard it. How bad is the song?
I mean, the song itself is garbage, but yeah. I'm surprised. The only reason I'm surprised you put this on the list is because I didn't know you liked Madonna.
I do. Yeah. I dig. Like growing up, how did you not love those songs? Like a Prayer is one of my favorite songs.
I like the video.
I love it. It bops. It's a toe tapper. It bops. It's so fun. All the old songs, even some of the new ones. The only one, and I talked about it on the podcast, that I didn't like was Take a Bow. I hate Take a Bow.
Too slow for you.
What?
It's too slow for you.
It's so slow. I remember when it would come on VH1 as a kid, and I would be like, oh, fuck this song. Like if they were doing like the top 20 or something, and Madonna's Take a Bow, I'd be like, oh my God, this fuck. Because it's like that movie was out, Evita. I'm like, I'm not gonna see Evita. I'm not gonna see this fucking video. I just
thought she was too mainstream and pop for me as a kid.
Yeah.
I was a music insider before you were.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I was ahead of the curve. I was like, if something was too mainstream, or I was like, I'm already against it.
But like, and what I also hate I don't love, but I love to hate this because this is where I feel like Madonna is also starting to be like, I'm getting a little old here. I got to figure out how to be cool. And I'll rap. Or there was one video that Sarah and I were watching where she's doing like jazzercise or some shit. It's so funny. But to bring it back to last week when I got blacked out.
You thought we were talking about American Pie.
I thought we were talking about Don McLean's American Pie, which we weren't. We were talking about Brown Eyed Girl.
Yes.
And that's by
Van Morrison.
By Van Morrison.
Which is maybe why he canceled us. Maybe that's why he did the
you know what? I bet like back in the day.
Don't compare me to Don.
He'd be like flirting with some girl and she'd be like, oh my God, you wrote that song, Brown Eyed Girl. I love it. And he'd be like, get out of here. That's my Irish accent right now. Get out of here.
No, you mean you'd say that to someone that said American Pie. Yeah.
That's right. So one of my other Madonna songs that I hate is her cover of Don McLean's American Pie. So Paul, I'm gonna cheat, but just play like a smidge.
All right.
Go like a little bit. Just play the beginning. Oh no, go way back to the beginning. Go way back to the beginning. Come on, this is like. So you're like, okay.
how that music used to make.
Madonna, this is how the song went, you know. But
I mean,
then, but it's like I just love how it kicks in here. Do you ever let it kick in?
how did she pull it off in 4 minutes and 20 seconds?
Fast. It's a dance song, so it's fast.
It starts so like.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I had my chance.
And it's just like, I don't know. I just think as she's gotten, and I blame like Howard Stern. I think he poisoned me to Madonna because he always used to rag on her and be like, oh, she's so phony, but now they're probably best friends. So, and I'm over here on a dumb podcast being like, she sold out.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I kind of respect her hustle, if you will, to try to stay relevant.
Sure.
Yeah. But
for sure.
That song, I agree with you, is trash, and I didn't like when she did American Pie. But
Yeah.
I also did. I would say 90% of her music I wasn't a fan of.
Really?
Now as I'm older, I'm like, these songs are okay. No, but I love the
Yeah.
videos.
And also too, just like,
Love
what
the
was she
videos.
going for with American Life? Like, what was she going for? Like, I don't know, man. It's fun because I feel like she's like in these videos where now she's like, this is you, America. Like that American Pie video, it's just like showing a bunch of like white trash people, and she's just like, look at you, America. Or then it's like, now we'll show the goth couple, and then we'll show like a veteran, like a Vietnam vet, and a guy who was in the Gulf War and got his leg blown off or whatever.
I don't remember the video like that.
Yeah, it was wild though, because we were watching it, and we both, Sarah and I both thought that it was like after 9/11 video, but it was in 2000. But it looked, it felt like it was like a 9/11 like tribute video.
I didn't realize that song was so old.
Yeah, 2000.
Like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's for something. It's for some movie or something. It was like on a soundtrack.
Oh, you mean American Pie?
Madonna's American Pie.
I thought you were talking about American.
Sorry. No, that was just one of those that like I felt like when iPods were first coming out, that was like one of those albums that was out.
She decided not to give it for free like that.
And it was one of those two of just kind of like, oh, I'm still here, everybody, I'm still here, and it was like that time where she was like kissing. I mean, that was after, well, it was around the same time where she kissed like Britney Spears and shit. Yeah. That was when she was like, I felt like she was trying to stay relevant, just not somebody who used to just whatever she would do was kind of like the cool thing. But I have a theory, and I'm super in tune now to how the internet has affected everything. And I'm saying this. So Madonna was like living in the hippest, coolest parts of New York, and she knew what was cool before it hit the rest of the country.
Okay.
So when she would do these things, she was just doing what everyone in her, circle was doing. She didn't like, and it was like a lot of stuff like voguing where they like the gay, like the gay, like
sure.
What was that documentary called? I can't think of it. And it was like a great documentary about that. And so they're like fighting almost while they're dancing. It's so cool. And
American Pie version came out, it says 2010.
At Aspen Dental.
No. That came out in like 2000.
What?
Well, her version, it said, oh no, you're right. It came out.
Paul, I'm a music insider. I'm Mart Pinfield. Okay. It was for some movie, I think. Some cheesy movie.
Let's see. Okay, so it reached #1 in several countries in 2000.
Sure. Because it's dancey, and it's probably like every European country was probably like, we love this Madonna song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Charts, Madonna version here. It says it was from the album The Next Best Thing.
It's a album. It's a movie, right?
I think it was her. It's the soundtrack of her own film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at Madonna.
Double dipping. Yeah. She can do what she wants, but maybe not rap.
Yeah. I for sure think that. And it's like, who knows, maybe she'll come out with a cool song, but it's like, you see like Dolly Parton, that should be like Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
If you're Madonna, she should be watching going, oh, I gotta be like Dolly Parton. That's
Dolly Parton's a legend, and she's written more songs in like an hour than any other male artist of her contemporary. That's
now
this brings us to the next
now we gotta talk
people incorporating a song from one of our finest singer-songwriters, Joni Mitchell.
Yes.
Is a song that you have ending your podcast.
Yep.
you've discussed your hatred of this song
Yeah.
multiple times, and
Yeah.
you've left me messages of you singing parts of this song.
Yeah. Would you like me to sing my favorite part of the song?
Well, first let's play the original so people.
Oh
know.
yes, please do.
This is Big Yellow Taxi by Counting Crows, featuring Vanessa Carlton.
I feel like whatever anybody's doing right now, they should see a little VH1 logo off to the lower right of their periphery.
This is the definition of VH1.
Yes.
Okay.
All of a sudden you're wearing khakis. All of a sudden you're about to do a team building exercise.
Yeah, it happens. So, Joni Mitchell, I love the original version. I didn't dislike this one. I think this was in movies too. Addition of hatred of the song. I definitely think it's cheesy, but it did make me. I will say this: it made me go back to listening to the original version and appreciating the album Blue.
It's like one of the coolest songs ever. The original.
That whole album is cool. Joni Mitchell's one of the best singer-songwriters of all time.
So what happened was this band who fully embraced their VH1-ness finally just said, fuck it. These Train guys, they need to go. We need to show Train we're the Counting fucking Crows and we run VH1. And they went the safe route to do a cover. And man, oh man, this fucking cover is just so bad. They made it it's just like, whoever the song is for, I probably would make fun of them.
Give people your version of your least favorite part of the song.
Hey, farmer, put away that DDT. Like, if only you were everybody in the crowd and I could make them laugh with that. I think you're the only person I can make laugh that hard with it. Fuck. Why can't everybody understand exactly what's happening in your brain when I say that?
Everyone has to know who the Counting Crows are in the audience for that joke to work.
And then the na 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 na. I hate it. Yeah, she needs to go too.
Here's what I don't think music insiders realize this because you shit on Counting Crows so much. You like the Counting Crows and you listen to their catalog.
I do. So I like some of their songs. I like
you're listening to and you're like, I like this now.
Yes. I gotta remember. It was the one that goes, waiting for you. Maybe it's this one. Hold on. Angels of Silence? No, Angels of Silence.
Yeah,
Angels of Silence slaps, man. It's on Recover the Satellites. You see, I looked at my phone like an old man. Recovering the Satellites. But yeah, no, because that first album I owned August and Everything After. And then
it's great. That album put me through college. I remember listening to that when it came out. Like I thought it was one of the greatest.
Yeah, there's some of those songs that I dig. And then this one came on and I was like, ooh, what is this? I dig it. But like I mean, I guess my pattern is when these bands get older or artists get older, and maybe because I'm, facing my mortality and I'm about to be middle-aged, maybe I'm just like being extra rough on them. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like as a Counting Crows fan, this song is unacceptable, right?
I don't mind it as much as you do, honest to God. I think there's worse ones for sure.
What's the worst Counting Crows song than this?
Hanging Around was mine last week.
Hanging Around is so much better than this song.
Well,
hanging around is it's dumb and it's very trainy, but it's so much better than this song.
I think that tape heads are gonna be surprised that you like the Counting Crows, and that's fine. That's where people don't realize that,
those old Einstein on the Beach is awesome. That's my favorite Counting Crows song of all. That was on the DGC's Rarities Volume 1, I believe. And I think some of those songs on August and Everything or After are good. And my buddy John, my best friend John, when he dies, he wants me to play Long December at the funeral. That's like he's told me. We've had like a moment where he's like, you have to do this for me. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it's John's birthday today, so happy birthday, John.
Maybe we need to do an episode of songs we want at our funeral.
I mean, morbid, but sure.
I don't know what we're gonna do next week. We talked about some new ideas. If you got ideas to send it to us, paulmartymix@gmail.com. That's paulmartymix@gmail.com. Review us, subscribe, tell your friends. Email us about what songs you hate. We don't have other people's lists yet. And I don't know. What are we gonna do next week, Marty? We're gonna be back. I'm gonna be back in the saddle, I think, by next episode.
If it's you and I definitely want to do something that's like fun and I like, because I like I said, I hate something positive.
Energy one. I think we came up with some ideas while we were texting. I could go back and look at one that
we did. I can't remember anything right now. But yeah, we'll be back next week, and I'll leave you guys with one more Adam Duritz. Hey, tapehead, put away that CD. There we go.